Previously on Big Brother live feeds. Big Brother has become an actual soap opera. No joke. I made a little joke before about how the Big Brother has become a soap opera, but it really has no joke in it at all. It's a whole soap opera. It's 100% soap opera. As the world turns, days of our lives, the bold and the beautiful, whatever you want to call it. So, not last night as in this past night that just ended for Vincent Morgan about 10-15 minutes ago, but last night as in the night before this night. Morgan put the full court press on Vince. She talked to Vince probably in a marathon conversation, probably for like 5 to 6 hours consecutively. No joke. I watched about 2 hours in the morning. So I went to sleep while they were having the talk. This was 2 nights ago. I caught 2 hours in the middle of it, and then I went to sleep and I woke up and the conversation was just ending. A similar thing happened today. Almost the exact same thing, identical. Hi, Tricity. So the conversation of last night was Vincent Morgan having this relationship-y conversation where she was telling him, you always put Lauren over me. Lauren, you care about Lauren more than me. You put my game in jeopardy because of Lauren. Lauren is your number one. Lauren. Like, prove your love and affection for me by putting Lauren on the block. And he was like, what? Putting Lauren on the block is insane. She's a number for me. She would never put me on the block, and she would never vote for me to go home. So I want to keep both of you safe, and I want both of you to work together. Morgan at this stage of the game is not trying to hear that anymore, and straight up was just like, I don't want her here. So if you do this the way that I want to do it, you will have me locked in. I'm your final two. We're going to work together to the end. I have your back. We'll sit in those final 2 chairs together. And which is totally it. Which it totally is. We'll sit in these final 2 chairs together and we'll rock out together. But if you don't put Lauren up as your replacement, we'll pass by each other and give each other a head nod, whatever. So I fell asleep in the midst of this long, loopy discussion. They really just repeat the same things over and over and over. That's the part that frustrates me. I am all for a very long debate. I sat up on many of feeds and watched people debate each other for hours. And as long as it's a flowing conversation where someone brings points and counterpoints, and those points and counterpoints switch up, all right, now I brought a new point. Now you bring a new point. I'm fine with that. Things happen. I've had discussions like that. Maybe if you even repeat a couple of times. Maybe if you even repeat a couple of times, that happens too. Okay. But they literally have about 2 points apiece. And they loop them over and over. But anyways, I wake up and I hear that they came to some kind of a conclusion last night, not tonight. The conclusion was, Vince says, I will indeed put up Lauren if I have your guarantee that if I put up Lauren, you will vote for her to stay in the game if she's on the block on Thursday, post-Blockbuster. Morgan agrees to that, so that's where we were yesterday. So So then he decides to go, hi Zeus, inform Lauren, because he doesn't want to blindside her. Decides to go inform Lauren that he's in consideration of putting her up, but not to fret, because she has the votes to stay, and tells her the only reason that he's doing it is because she hasn't touched the block and she has such a great resume. There's a thing that we always joke about, we as in like the Big Brother community always kind of jokes about: never put your allies on the block. There's not an actual justification for it. The problem, the conundrum that he finds himself in right now, that I can say after watching their conversation last night and the things they were saying last night compared to the things before, is he caught feelings for one of his allies. May not have initially started that way, but it's that way now. He was sitting in that bedroom last night saying everything. And this is just what I was awake for. I love you. I want you to be around me for life. I want to spend time with you outside of this house. Not with Lauren. Lauren is just a number and it's just a game. But you is different. You know how strongly I feel about you. And then he'd catch himself every once in a while and be, oh, in the game, you know, like. But then he'd be like, man, I couldn't imagine my life without you. And I just hope that you don't dismiss me when we get out of the house. And he was just a guy in the house, and then when you get back to your real life, you forget about me, and this and that and the other. And I was like, I realize you are not even discussing the game anymore. This conversation is really personal in nature. Okay, so anyways, Lauren's response yesterday to him saying that he was considering to put her up, she was he tried to frame it like, all these people are saying, whoa, he's really not thinking about Kelsey. All these people are telling me that you don't have any blemish on your record because you've gone X amount of, I think he said, no, X amount of days without touching the block. And he was just like, everybody says that you need to go up because if you sit next to somebody with, I think she has 3 HOHs and a power of veto, I think. And he was just like, you got the best resume in the house, and everybody's telling me that I've got to put you up, otherwise it's going to be impossible to beat you sitting next to you. She says, who's everybody? Is everybody Morgan? And he's like, no. I mean, he's like, everybody. Keanu, Ashley. He's just listing people because he's trying to cover. He was trying to cover Morgan at the beginning of that conversation. And I think he got more pushback from Lauren than he expected. Because Lauren is then like, what you're saying doesn't make any sense, Vince. You and I have been working together from the beginning. We had this final 2. You're my number 1. He's like, yeah, I know you're my number 1. Because obviously, actually, and that's actually true. Like, this whole thing about Morgan being his number 1, that was not a thing in the beginning. It became a thing later on down the road. And so she was basically like, if Morgan is supposed to be your number 1, sorry, or number 2, I don't remember whether she said number 1 or number 2. But if she's supposed to be what she's supposed to be, she's supposed to be your ally, then why is she threatening you and saying that if I don't go up, she's not going to work with you anymore? He was like, yeah, you make a good point. I don't like threats. I don't like people taking charge of my HOH. This and that and the other. So then he gets back and Kelly kind of reinforces it. Ava kind of reinforces the same thing because they're all kind of working together to work on Vince. Because I realize that everyone just knows that Vince is easily manipulated. And Lauren was never trying to manipulate him before until finding out of his potential plan to use her as the Renom. So they had this long chat again tonight. This long hours and hours of chatting, only to conclude that Morgan says, I will strongly consider keeping Lauren if she goes on the block because of you. There's no guarantee from her about is she going to use the POV or is she not going to use the POV. There's no guarantee of her using it on Ava if she uses it instead of Keanu. There's no guarantee of her saving Lauren. And that's where we left it. We left it in the exact same place toxic. They already give toxic relationship. They're not even in an actual relationship and they're already giving toxic relationship. In my estimation and in my humble opinion. So for anyone who didn't see, another quick summary. 2 nights ago, Lauren suggests the idea to Vince. No, not Lauren, sorry. Morgan suggests the idea to Vince of Vince putting up Lauren as the Renom and her taking off Keanu, and says it's because he's a shield and you need to have a shield in the game. Vince is strongly opposed to this. Morgan speaks to him for hours. They come to a conclusion. Vince is willing to put Lauren on the block if Morgan agrees that with Lauren on the block, she will vote to keep her in the game. That's where we were. Then Vince gets pressed by Lauren and by Kelly and by Ava after making the suggestion to them. And then he feels uncomfortable again about putting Lauren on the block. He goes back. He revisits the conversation with Morgan. Morgan is playing hard to get in that conversation, and she's basically like, why are we having this again? Why does it matter these extra people that you're talking to? If you know that you have me, why does it matter about all these side conversations that you had that made you doubt me and made you doubt us, etc.? So they went round and round and round in circles again. The conclusion is like, he still wants what he wants. She still wants what she wants. He's going to revisit conversation with Lauren. Oh, he tried to suggest to Morgan, can you be in this conversation with Lauren and tell her directly that you promise and guarantee to keep her safe if she goes on the block? And Morgan declined. So that was the end result with that. That's where we are. They're gonna have more loopy conversations today, but what I'm really looking forward to is when it's all said and done and seeing what Morgan decides to do and seeing what he decides to do. Well, he doesn't decide to do anything unless Morgan decides to do something. So I hope that he does not find a way, or nobody finds a way to manage to talk her out of using that POV. Because to be honest, even if it means my girl Ashley going up, I would rather see Ashley go up and see how it plays out from there than to see another week of this. And if Ashley goes up, you know that him and Morgan are done. And if Lauren goes up, you know that him and Lauren are done. So either way, Vince is not going to sleep well in that HOH bed tonight. And he's not getting nookie. So that's why I'm going to leave it. Thank you for joining me once again. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell to get notified of when your boy drops some more of this content. Talk to you soon. I will see you after